Resistance is futile.
Boldly going where no show has gone before. This is The Week in Geek with David D. Squared and Brian Held. Heard live on News Talk 99.5 WRNO and the iHeartRadio app. Here are your hosts, Brian Held and D. Squared.
Greetings, people of Earth. This is The Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now. I'm your host, D Squared, along with
Brian Held.
Brian Held, how the hell are you, buddy?
Man, I'm great. And out of the gate, I want to give a big thanks to Tim Stoddard and the folks over at Showcase Comics and Collectibles out in Slidell. They had Kevin Eastman in town.
I'm telling you, man, that is awesome.
And so I went out there, say hi to Kevin and his lovely wife, Courtney, and we got to hang out for a bit, and I got a few things signed, so it was super cool.
All acting all fanboy and stuff. Going back to your roots?
Oh, dude, I loved the Turtles as a kid, man. That was huge. And also, we'd like to have a big welcome for our newest sponsor, Mightycons. Yes.
Mightycon.
So that's going to be in the Hilario Center on June 9th and 10th. Of course, we're going to be out there, promoting the show. And
shaking babies, kissing hands.
Absolutely. And it's going to be a good time, yeah.
Absolutely. And now, let's lay out the show real quick, because we got a jam-packed show today. We also have some updates on where we'll be this weekend, too.
Yes, that's true.
No, it's crazy talk. All right, so right out the gate, we're going to do some top nerd news, and then we have our boy, Skungy.
Yes.
Pick of the week.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good one. Yeah.
I'm so excited.
And then our guest is Chris Ode with Zombie Orpheus Entertainment, and they are going to be the guests at the location that we're going to be at next weekend. We'll talk about it later. Yes.
Yeah. And then, as always, we'll close out the show like we always do with This Week in Geek History. Let's do it. And now, your top nerd news stories from around the world, brought to you by the Viridian Tea Company. Find them on Etsy. And now, your top nerd news stories. All right, Brian, what's topping us off tonight?
Well, we have to start with Deadpool 2, which you just got out of the theater.
I got here at like about almost 6 o'clock, straight from the movie theater.
Right, and I saw it on Friday morning. Just a couple numbers real quick. We're looking at 125 million domestic, 176 foreign, for a total of 301 million worldwide is their box office totals. It's the number 2 R-rated movie
Wow, so
ever.
They smoked Infinity War?
Well, they have replaced Infinity War as number 1 at the box office right now.
But they haven't done more than Infinity War.
No, not yet. Not yet.
I really, if they do, that will be the shocking of all shocking shocks.
Right, but it's got great numbers right now. Hopefully they can hold through, especially with Memorial Day weekend next weekend.
That's only going to improve their numbers,
right?
Man. Everybody's going to be going out, yeah.
So, spoiler free. What are your thoughts?
I enjoyed it. There were some parts that were kind of a little laggy, a little bit. I don't know. Deadpool is always quippy and full of references. A couple of them that were just so fast, like I didn't even understand the words that came out of his mouth before I'm trying to process said words to figure out what the joke is. But he's already moved on to something else.
Yeah.
But on the whole, I mean, I was on board, maybe 3 weeks ago when they kind of added a little bit more to the trailers and such. I enjoyed the hell out of it. It was fun. I really did. I liked it, man.
I thought this movie had a story that was largely irrelevant and merely a vehicle for the sophomoric humor that we know and love from Deadpool.
But it had the F word in it.
It did, but it wasn't. We didn't.
Family, you jerk.
We didn't know kind of what to expect before the first movie came out. You're right, and that was why it was such a punch in the gut in a good way.
Right.
And now we have number 2. We kind of know what's coming. Right. So I enjoyed it. There were some great laugh out loud moments, especially the mid-credit scene. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was kind of predictable and kind of you're right. There were some blah moments there.
Yeah. But I mean, on the whole, though, what'd you think?
I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Well, like I said, laugh out loud moments. A couple things to mention. If you haven't seen it yet, the trailers were set up to be deceptive. There are scenes that are in the trailers that don't happen in the movie. So if you want to kind of get a little Easter egg out of that, go watch the trailers first and then watch the movie and see where the differences are.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. And then
they did a bunch of jokes that were just kind of stupid. They kept hitting one joke and it just kept falling flat every time.
Well, and the other thing is there was a bunch of stuff that ended up on the cutting room floor, and I would have loved to have seen it where they were doing that interview process, right, to build up the team.
Yeah.
And they were talking about doing a mid-credits end scene deal where they brought in Chris Evans as the Human Torch. But it never made it to, yeah.
Well,
but that would have been awesome.
The Vanisher made it in.
I know. So
we literally had to do a double take.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But, I mean, yeah, they had a couple of just some of the jokes kind of fell flat. But, I mean, look, one of the things that I enjoyed about it, I brought my 12-year-old because I'm a terrible parent. We all know that. Let's move on past that. But this was better to bring a younger kid to. There's F-bombs galore and not family. These were not family-friendly words that were uttered.
Right.
But it didn't have the outrageous sex acts that the other ones had.
True.
It didn't have any of the motions of the gestures of the unicorn.
Right.
And so, like, there was no, like, avert your eyes, child. So that was cool. I mean, they didn't go with the over-the-top sexualized humor.
Right.
Which was good as a parent, but also it had been done. I think they set the tone for it.
Yeah.
So if they'd have kept hitting the stupid sex jokes, it would have played as well. So
Right.
I think they did good by moving on from that.
Yeah, overall, I'm happy.
And that's maybe I'm growing as a person, Brian, that I did not want to see, overt sexual acts in my movies.
I'm happy to see that you're making progress, Dave.
I am a pod person. I am now officially a pod person. What's next, Brian?
Some crazy news, right, on Star Trek. We actually have a couple of stories about Star Trek. The first one is there's a rumor that we may potentially get Spock in Season 2 of Star Trek Discovery.
Wait, how?
Well,
what is he, a sperm?
No, it's because it's
a prequel though.
It is, but it's not that far ahead because
okay,
right.
So adolescent Spock
in the finale of Season 1, you see the Enterprise, you see Captain Pike, right, and of course Pike was in that pilot, and Spock was part of that. Yeah, exactly, and Spock was part of the crew at that time.
Okay,
so. Yeah, it's possible to see him as a I don't know, in his 20s or something like that.
Hands of an adolescent.
Right. But, I'm like, really? Like, why does Spock have to keep coming back? Which is, I guess, my whole...
Because they hate Kirk.
Well, but not just that. I guess it's my whole argument with Star Trek Discovery as a whole. I don't want to go backwards. Stop going backwards. Move forwards. Tell new stories. Get new characters in there, right? Just quit digging up the past,
Look, you're preaching to the choir.
Right.
Amen, brother. But, I mean, they want to go for the money shot. Spock brings people in. People love them some damn Spock.
Yeah.
That is a woman.
A mass of conflicting impulses.
See, Spock is a jerk, man. See,
He is.
That's why they bring him back. He's just that lovable loser, man.
Right. Well, look, who they're bringing back is the least of their worries because apparently CBS and Paramount are fighting over Star Trek again.
What?
Yes.
I thought this was done.
No. Before they were teaming up against Axanar, but no, this is trippy. So the writer and director of The Wrath of Khan, Nick Meyer, was working on a project that he's now stalled on because it was supposed to be a new spin-off series. So and it was going to be on the CBS All Access.
Okay.
And so people figured it was going to be a TV thing, but it was made for TV movies that he was doing. So then there's because
oh my God.
Right. And so Paramount is like, well, you're making movies over here and you're conflicting with what we're trying to do on the big screen. And so but hold on. Exactly. And then there's a larger battle because Viacom is involved in that too.
What?
And CBS and Viacom are trying to get away from one another, and they're trying to get together. And there's National Amusements. All right, hold on. National Amusements owns CBS and Viacom. They want to merge them, but they want to get apart. And there's this legal dispute that is so complicated, and I'm quoting from the article, that the judge actually said on Wednesday, I've never seen anything like what's transpired here in terms of moving parts, and granted CBS a restraining order against National Amusements. It's so convoluted, and which goes to what I've been saying for the longest time, that CBS and Paramount don't understand their property and don't understand what the fans want, and they need to get together with Warner Brothers and get some therapy.
That's what they need to do?
Yes.
They need some couch time?
They do. Absolutely.
Oh, my God. that's astounding. I mean, it's just like, what, is another stepbrother going to show up? Hey, I wrote an episode 10 years ago, so I need some skin in the game. No.
Right.
No.
One shall stand, one shall fall.
Hopefully. Yes.
It doesn't look that way. All right, what's next, my man?
All right, well, maybe some good news, bad news type deal. More in the reboot scene.
Oh, no.
So it looks like Netflix is going to reboot She-Ra.
Well,
but it doesn't look necessarily that bad. It's going to be She-Ra and the Princesses of Power.
ooh.
So maybe all of her friends from the previous cartoon are getting upgrades. They're becoming royalty themselves.
All right, so I don't think they rebooted He-Man, did they? Or they just re-released it, or they just
I don't
upgraded
think they
it.
did.
Yeah, no, it's probably on the docket. But so I mean, so they're not changing it, right? They're not going to change it like what we were talking about earlier with Thundercats.
Well, so no, it appears that it's going to have a similar visual appearance as the previous stuff. All that's out right now is kind of a little poster teaser type deal, and you see She-Ra on a rock, and she's holding the sword aloft, and she looks normal. But what you're referencing is Thundercats Roar.
Reboots?
Yeah, so
it looks like Steven Universe.
Right.
All you need is a little stone in their bellies, and we're golden.
yeah, Warner Brothers Animation is reviving Thundercats with Thundercats Roar, and you're right, it's a very simplistic animation, and actually started a bit of a fight on our Facebook page.
I'm gonna think somebody at Cajun Nerd Media got mad.
Yes, he did get a little mad, yes.
Well, he's a coon-ass. He's allowed to do that.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
That's what we do down there, Brian.
Right.
We get a little fire in our blood.
So the thing is that Thundercats were rebooted in 2011, and
yeah, and it wasn't very good.
well, but it had a more anime visual style, like a more modern anime visual style. But this looks like, you're right, like Steven Universe or some other very simplistic cartoon style. And it seems like it might be a little bit irreverent. There's a teaser video where they kind of go behind the scenes, and the guy is trying to.
Is it my 12-year-old doodling on?
No,
No.
It's a guy with a man bun though, or
But see, now I'm out. I'm officially out. No man buns in my cartoons. Take that away.
Yeah. All right.
Man bun. Sorry. Easily agitated.
yes.
Give me something funny as we go to break.
All right. Let's see. What are we talking about? Babylon 5 is coming to Amazon Prime.
I said funny.
Okay.
Now you're just antagonizing me willfully.
All right. Well, the HTC Ready Player One has boosted interest in virtual reality in China.
Really?
So, yeah, the folks over there who've watched the movie, it's starting to up the sales of VR out in China.
Well, they had two major Asian characters in Ready Player One, so that's actually,
Yeah.
Look, that's kind of what movies are for. It's like they're really long commercials.
Well, in a lot of instances.
Go out and buy some VR.
Absolutely.
Maybe they actually thought it was real. I mean, they are living in China. It's kind of communist.
And the VR that we got nowadays is much, much better than it used to be. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, if you go check it out at Laser Tag Games out in Baton Rouge, you can see it for yourself.
Getting a capsule today.
Yes, exactly. All right, are we ready for break?
We are.
All right, well, guys.
Share, take us to break, baby.
I know. Guys, when we get back, we're going to talk to our boy Skungy and get his pick of the week. Stay tuned. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, is now an audiobook read for you by Brian Held. It's a tale of a young girl from Tortuga who disguises herself as a boy and bluffs her way onto a pirate ship, chasing after her one true love, only to find adventure on the high seas. Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid is available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. Get your copy of Jezebel Johnston today.
You've waited for it, and now it's here. Get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt and help support our show. These 100% cotton black t-shirts with the Week in Geek Radio Show logo are going fast. So don't wait. Go to twigradio.com and order your shirt now. Just go to twigradio.com and get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt. $15 up to XL, $17 for 2X and 3X. That's twigradio.com.
Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as My Enemy's Tears, Goth Librarian, Cyberpunk, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you.
Do you have a message or logo that you need the world to see? Then rely on the folks at Gretna Signworks to use their expertise to deliver your design. With over 15 years in business, Gretna Signworks can do commercial and yard signs, banners, screen-printed t-shirts, magnetic signs, vehicle graphics and lettering, and so much more. Gretna Signworks also has an exceptional network of suppliers, so no job is out of scope. Find Gretna Signworks on Facebook or visit them at 2125 Bell Chase Highway today.
It's long past time for the Big Easy to get a big comic convention. MightyCon proudly presents their very first New Orleans Comic Con, coming this June 9th and 10th at the Hilario Center in West Wego. The New Orleans Comic Con features hundreds of artists and creators, vendors, and of course, special guests. We also have free comics at the door for all attendees, free parking, and kids 12 and under get in free. Go to MightyConShows.com for more info. Don't miss New Orleans' biggest new comic book show.
Black Tie Tans, the premier mobile spray tanning professionals of New Orleans. Black Tie Tans will come to you and give you a natural glistening glow on the go. First-time customers get 20% off their first tan. Find them on Facebook at Black Tie Tans or email them at blacktieTans@gmail.com to set your appointment. Going to a wedding? Going out to the club? Black Tie Tans will give you the look you need. Black Tie Tans. Tell your pale friends.
Mata Hari, Agent H21, is a spy fiction short story anthology about the famous dancer, seductress, and spy from World War I. Mata Hari, Agent H21, published by Pro Se Productions, has 7 rip-roaring adventure tales about the world-famous super spy that features her battling her enemies by using any weapons at her disposal. Mata Hari, Agent H21 is available for purchase in ebook and paperback formats on Amazon.com.
Welcome back to the Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now. Like them on Facebook at The Week in Geek Radio Show. Here are your hosts, D Squared and Brian Held.
Greetings, people of Earth. This is... Well, Cher said we had to turn back time, Brian.
Oh.
Cher said we had to turn back time.
Can
the
we...
look of perplexion upon your face is priceless. This is D Squared.
And Brian Held.
All right, it's the worst part of the show.
I am not what you would call a handsome man.
Skungy's Pick of the Week is brought to you by GameStop and ThinkGeek.com.
Skungy's Pick of the Week.
You might be an idiot savant.
Woohoo! Skungy, what's shaking bacon with the best part of the show? The best part of the show.
I was about to say, I mean, come on, man. I'm not the worst part. I mean, some days I am, but not all the time.
Well, I don't know. You're going down that aisle right now. What are we talking about today?
We're talking about State of Decay 2.
Okay.
All right.
Now, State of Decay 2 is a sequel to State of Decay 1.
Shut the front door.
I know, right?
I downloaded that first game, State of Decay 1.
Did you play it?
I did not play it, no.
It was originally a digital game that was released on Xbox Live Arcade. Actually came out originally on the Xbox 360 and the Xbox One.
Oh.
But it was just a digital game from the arcade. The premise of the game is it's a zombie survival game is the best way to describe it. But not like your traditional ones, not like Resident Evil or anything like that. When they mean survive, they mean like you got to go out and get supplies.
Yeah, it's like apocalypse shopping.
It basically, yeah, that's a great way to
and
put
house
it. So,
zombie house flipping.
Yeah, you get you get an outpost, and you have to maintain your outpost. Now, how are you going to do that? You need to get supplies for that. So you need food to keep everybody fed. You need medicine to keep them healthy. You need nursery to make food.
Hey.
You need armory.
Oh, nursery, like not a food nursery?
Yeah, it's like a garden nursery kind of
okay.
thing.
All right.
That's what they call it in the game.
Okay,
But
continue.
but,
Sorry.
But yes. Yeah, Brian?
Nope.
Go.
He's hearing stuff.
So what happens in the game is you're going to go out on runs to get these supplies, and that's where, the danger comes in, because you got to go clear out these houses and different areas and buildings in order to get supplies. And the game's pretty good on the fact that, you go look for supplies in places that they should be. And most games don't do this. If you see a gas station, you're going to find gas there. If you go to a grocery store or a restaurant, you're going to find food. You go to a clinic, you're going to find medicine. It's not, like, oh, I'm going to open up this and I'm going to find a tuna melt in the garage.
All right.
So, that's pretty cool. And you can go out and you can play this game co-op with up to, 4 players. You can play co-op. Which was probably the most, asked for thing with the last game. The co-op is a little bit buggy, though. That's a big problem with it. It's like sometimes it doesn't keep up. The game's draw distance doesn't keep up, and zombies spawn sometimes 20 feet in the air, stuff like that.
Nice.
But, other than those little bugs, the co-op's a lot of fun. The game is also very tense because it has something called permadeath. Now, this game is kind of an RPG. As you play with a character, you do more, like you have different stats, like cardio. So the more you run, the higher your stat gets.
I'm out. I'm
fighting.
done. Any game with cardio, I'm out.
Hey, well, it's one of the best rules of Zombieland.
That is true. It is the first rule.
Yeah.
So when you're going through, you build this character up and everything, and you're going to have to. They have a stamina bar, so they're going to get tired after a while. So you have to literally switch out with other characters because they have to rest, because you can't push them too far. But say you have a character that you really like, you've built up and everything, and he gets killed by a zombie. He's dead. He's not coming back. That's it. That you have to go to a new character.
Man, boo. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, come on,
I
Dave.
guess.
It's
but it's
challenging.
You go find people that have certain skills, like somebody might be a doctor, or somebody's good with ammunition, or somebody's good at crafting stuff. So you want to constantly have a good variety of characters.
You go rescue somebody. Here, fill out this questionnaire. Then I'll let you know if I can save you.
Nice.
Exactly. Can I save you? Are you allergic to shellfish?
You have a peanut allergy. All right. So you save people or not.
You save people or not, and it, like I said, there's the permadeath to it. The game is, that's the fun part of it, just going out on these missions and trying to find all this different stuff. It's a pretty fun, entertaining game. It improves on parts of the first one. The multiplayer is fun. Like I said, it's just a little buggy. But overall, a fun little game, and the good thing is that the game comes out actually on Tuesday.
Okay.
But if you want to get it today or tomorrow, they have what's called the Ultimate Edition. Now, the Ultimate Edition of the game, you get it a couple of days early, you get 2 DLC packs, and you get a download for the first State of Decay for free.
That's
now,
cool.
that's $49.99.
Oh, wow. Okay.
If you want to get just State of Decay, it comes out this Tuesday, and it's $29.99. So you're not really, if you want to just get the regular game, it's not like, $60 game. So, I think it's okay to forgive some things with a game that you're not paying like premium AAA price for.
Yeah. No, that's
I got
cool.
it on discount. All
right.
It glitches. It really pisses me off, but I got it cheap.
Well,
that's like my home. That's
Right.
my family crest.
And I know you said at the beginning, but what are the platforms, Skungy?
It is on Xbox One, and it's actually an Xbox One X enhanced game. And it's on PC, the dirty PC.
All right, cool.
One day I'm going to go get a pacemaker and be like, why is this thing always messing up? Because I got it cheap.
Jeez.
It's glitchy, but it keeps me going.
Well,
He's just going to be sitting there sometimes. Somebody just get a zapper and zap him again.
Right. Do you have an Overwatch update for us, Skungy?
Yeah, actually I do. So Stage 4
Wait,
just
real
started.
quick. Skungy, before you start, I just want to mention that Blizzard is about to celebrate their 2-year anniversary of Overwatch. That whole event is going to take place from May 22nd to June 11th. 50 new cosmetics, 11 of them being skins, are coming out. There's a new deathmatch map coming out called Petra, and previous seasonal content will be available for purchase in the game. That's all cosmetic. It doesn't have any effect on gameplay, Dave, so you can still play and win.
I've known that.
Well, here's the question, Brian, on that. Will you be able to, like, actually purchase said past stuff, or do you have to buy a loot box and pray that you get what you want?
So the way the system works there is everything is tied to loot boxes, all the cosmetic stuff, and you either get things or you get coins. So you eventually can collect enough coins to buy the things you specifically want.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know. That sounds like childhood gambling to me.
But
hey, that was just sports gambling was just legalized, so it's cool now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well, there we
true.
go.
Yep. All right, so what's the E-League update?
Well, number one, the female player just had her first match, and they won.
Nice. What team?
God, I forgot what the name of the team was.
Come on, Skungy.
Leave me alone. It was, she was with...
that team that did the thing.
Just
L.A. She's one of the L.A. teams.
Okay.
She's one of the LA teams. So, yeah, so you got that. We just started.
Oh.
They just started stage.
It's the Shanghai Dragons.
No.
Yeah, Overwatch.
No,
I'm looking at an article from February 14th of this year.
That's 3 months ago.
All right, let me keep looking. All right, keep going, Skungy.
All right, so anyway, so the standings are, so they just started stage 4. So this is the last stage of of this Overwatch League. Now, they just announced that the championship are going to be in the Barclays Center in New York.
Ooh.
But Brian, you would be very happy right now for the stage 4 standings.
Yeah.
Houston's on top.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, it's
you picked a winner, Brian.
Mm-hmm. Go Outlaws.
Houston, the LA Gladiators, the Fusion, and the Excelsior are in the top 4 for the playoffs right now. Now, that's just where they were in the playoffs. Now, still, in the overall league standings, New York is still far in the lead, with Boston in second and London in third and the Valiant in fourth. Your Houston Outlaws are all the way down at 7th, but they're still in the positive side.
Okay, good.
But number 12, once again, as the running joke of the league, they are 0-32 now.
Oh, geez, that's terrible.
Good news, everyone.
Wow.
They're still losers. Man, those poor bastards, man. I don't even want to be on their team anymore. No.
You don't want to be on their team?
I don't. Okay, I do. I'm lying. I do. Who am I kidding? I just want to feel needed.
You would just, but the thing is that in the game, they in the map, they had 2 and 6. So it's not like they're even having close games, Right. It's not like we almost won this one. No, not at all.
They just get hosed and owned, right?
Absolutely.
All right, Skungy, you going to fire him, Brian? You want to fire him?
No, I don't want to fire him this week.
Couldn't.
But why? I have to hang out with you all weekend long coming up.
Oh, that's right. That's a good.
Oh, fire him now. He's going to be with us at Mobicon?
Yes.
We'll never get the smell out of the sheets.
All right. I don't know what to say.
Look, thanks, Skungy. That stuff works fine.
Guys, when we get back from these short commercial messages, we're going to have our interview with Chris Ode from Zombie Orpheus Entertainment, and he's going to be at Mobicon next weekend where we're going to be.
We are.
So stay tuned. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
It's long past time for the Big Easy to get a big comic convention. MightyCon proudly presents their very first New Orleans Comic Con, coming this June 9th and 10th at the Hilario Center in West Wego. The New Orleans Comic Con features hundreds of artists and creators, vendors, and of course, special guests. We also have free comics at the door for all attendees, free parking, and kids 12 and under get in free. Go to MightyConShows.com for more info. Don't miss New Orleans' biggest new comic book show.
Black Tie Tans, the premier mobile spray tanning professionals of New Orleans. Black Tie Tans will come to you and give you a natural glistening glow on the go. First-time customers get 20% off their first tan. Find them on Facebook at Black Tie Tans or email them at blacktitans@gmail.com to set your appointment. Going to a wedding? Going out to the club? Black Tie Tans will give you the look you need. Black Tie Tans. Tell your pale friends.
Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, is now an audiobook read for you by Brian Held. It's a tale of a young girl from Tortuga who disguises herself as a boy and bluffs her way onto a pirate ship, chasing after her one true love, only to find adventure on the high seas. Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid is available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. Get your copy of Jezebel Johnston today.
Do you have a message or logo that you need the world to see? Then rely on the folks at Gretna Signworks to use their expertise to deliver your design. With over 15 years in business, Gretna Signworks can do commercial and yard signs, banners, screen-printed t-shirts, magnetic signs, vehicle graphics and lettering, and so much more. Gretna Signworks also has an exceptional network of suppliers, so no job is out of scope. Find Gretna Signworks on Facebook or visit them at 2125 Bell Chase Highway today.
Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as My Enemy's Tears, Goth Librarian, Cyberpunk, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you.
You've waited for it, and now it's here. Get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt and help support our show. These 100% cotton black t-shirts with the Week in Geek Radio Show logo are going fast. So don't wait. Go to twigradio.com and order your shirt now. Just go to twigradio.com and get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt. $15 up to XL, $17 for 2X and 3X. That's twigradio.com.
Hello, creeps. It's me, John Kassir, the voice of the Crypt Keeper, and you're listening to The Week in Geek.
This is Brian Held with the Week in Geek Radio Show on News Talk 99.5 WRNO, and I'm joined by Chris Ode with Zombie Orpheus Entertainment. Sir, how are you?
Doing great, Brian. It's good to be here.
Oh, fantastic. You guys do all kind of crazy stuff. I mean, you are all over the place, but a while ago, y'all started out with the Gamers, right? Is that the kind of the first production y'all did?
More or less, close to it, yeah. We began as a group of friends in college at Pacific Lutheran University up in Tacoma, Washington, and we did some student films together. I guess technically the first thing was a show called Demon Hunters. It was some student work that we did that you don't need to go find. And although that has turned into a pretty fun RPG in the years since, based on the Fate system. But yeah, the original The Gamers was a 48-minute short that we filmed back in 2002 with absolutely no idea what we were going to do with it. We put it together for about $500, with most of that being spent on film, because that was a thing once upon a time.
Right.
For people who are younger.
Yeah, right.
When we got it together, it just so happened that the original The Gamers happened to be picked up by some folks at Wizards of the Coast, which at the time was still independent and headquartered here in the Puget Sound area, and it just kind of passed around the offices, and got picked up by people like Monty Cook and Sean Reynolds, and they, Peter Atkinson saw it, and they loved it and talked about it and passed it around amongst themselves and to their fans on their blogs and such, because this was pre-YouTube and pre any kind of streaming online, stuff like that.
Right.
And so on a lark, we then went out to Gen Con in Gen Con 2003 in Indianapolis, and that's kind of when things really launched. Was we found out that there was an audience and people really liked this, and maybe there was actually some room for some of us to make a living, or at least part of a living, off of doing this.
Absolutely. Now, I got to fast forward to ask you about Dark Dungeons, because you guys were involved in the production of this. As I understand it, it was a guy who won the lottery, and he got, $10,000, and then can you describe that?
Yeah, J.R. Rawls is the author, the writer of the script for the Dark Dungeons, the movie. J.R. had, as a lot of gamers are, J.R. had been aware of the Dark Dungeons tract for years, and he'd always had this pet desire to make a film of it for some reason. And so a few years back, he won $1,000 in the lottery, and he decided that he wanted to see if he could get the rights to do the film. So he reached out to Chick Productions, or whatever the company's name is.
Right.
And to make kind of a long story short on that too, he managed to get the rights to do an adaptation of the film for free, so long as it was handled straight, that it was, as it was true to the tract itself, and wasn't done as a satire, basically.
Right.
And so, so we filmed it as a straight take on the Dark Dungeons tract, and we used that opportunity to then shoot a mockumentary at the same time.
Right.
And that became Attacking the Darkness, which is a film that is the making of an anti-RPG movie that has absolutely nothing to do with Dark Dungeons. There is no IP crossover whatsoever, so all lawyers can please stay away.
No, that's awesome, man. And I mean, I remember that tract as a kid and how passionate I was about Dungeons & Dragons and how much it did to enlighten me and my friends. To see that is incredible. Y'all did a great job on that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was an interesting shoot. There's so many things I could say about that. It was a really, really fun shoot, especially the Attacking the Darkness part, which we were kind of like a little guerrilla operation operating, behind the scenes on this other film shoot. The Dark Dungeons team would go and do their shtick, do their scene, and then we would come in somewhat unannounced and without really telling the actors what was going on. And we would basically say, okay, here's the scenario. We're going to come in and mess with you. Go. Right. And then we would basically do this unscripted scene, and then that got put together to make Attacking the Darkness.
No, that's fantastic. And guys, I'm talking with Chris Ode from Zombie Orpheus Entertainment. So tell me what you guys have going on right now, because I know you have a Patreon out there. I know you guys are constantly putting out material. Kind of give me, what the lineup is, what you guys are doing.
We have several things coming down the pike. Strowlers is a world that is a highly cooperative, fan interactive world that our general manager, Ben Dobbins, has been working on with several other people for a couple of years now. And Strowlers is a world in which magic is real but regulated. The power of story and storytelling is kind of the root source of magic in the Strowlers universe. And so Strowlers is getting ready to come out this year at various conventions, and it's something that we've done in conjunction with local folk in different locations. For example, last year, a small group went out to Mongolia and shot a series there with a group of Mongolian shamans.
Wow.
A group right now is preparing to write with an Aboriginal troupe out of Australia sometime this summer. There's Strowlers. We did an Ireland version. We did a version that was shot in the Seattle area as the initial pilot. So that's going on. We have The Gamers, the series, which follows the original characters from the 2002 short. Now that they are trapped in our world, I don't want to give any spoilers to a 16-year-old movie.
Okay.
But now that they are trapped in our world, The Gamers, the series, follows them as they are attempting to make a return to the fantasy world from which they came.
Nice.
Journey Quest Season 4 is getting ready to shoot, which is a fantasy web series that we do. It's been very popular. And in this last year and a half or so, we really started going down into live streaming. Has been a new passion for us. We stumbled into a company, Hyper RPG is a Twitch-based live streaming company focused on a lot of RPGs and similar stuff. Their CEO, Zach Eubank, used to be the showrunner for Geek and Sundry.
Oh, okay.
And then Zach moved up to Seattle a few years back and developed Hyper RPG with Jordan Weissman and Mitch Gittleman from Harebrained Schemes, the Battletech, some Shadowrun stuff that Harebrained does. Anyway, we stumbled into a relationship with Hyper, and that has now led to where we on our own now are live streaming on our own YouTube channel, through Twitch, through a few other platforms, which is great because we're getting ready to launch a new network, the Fantasy Network, along with several other independent fantasy production companies across the, well, not just across the country, but across the globe. Working with some companies from New Zealand, from Canada, from the States, which the Fantasy Network is basically going to be a one-stop shop for independent fantasy, sci-fi kind of comedy. Well, not just comedy, but I mean just all these sorts of genre, fun, geeky stuff that we all love and enjoy so much, but a place where people can find and access all of this in one spot, and where fans can work with the creative types, or no, excuse me, fans are creative too,
Right.
but where fans can work with the creators of some of these things to develop new story and content.
Man, you
So
are all over the place.
We are. There's a lot going on. It's a really good year. We're very excited for Gen Con this year. We're going to be helping out with some. I can't quite announce it yet. I want to, but I can't. There's some awesome stuff happening there this year that we will be an integral part of. And then we're really excited in a couple of weeks. We'll be heading down to Alabama for Mobicon.
Yeah, I know. That's why one of the reasons why we brought you on is to talk about your appearance at Mobicon. What can folks down here in the Gulf South see from your appearance?
So I will be heading down there as well as my wife, Sarah Sanders Ode, Matt Shimkus, Emily Shimkus, Christian Doyle, and Keeson Holt is our lineup that is coming down. And several of those folks, for anyone who knows the gamers, who knows Journey Quest, who knows Attacking the Darkness, who knows our live streaming stuff, these are all people who are heavily involved in that stuff. We're coming down to run a booth. We're coming down to do some panels. We're coming down to run some Demon Hunters RPG games. We're coming down to do a show of Gamers Live, which is our improv, our live improvised comedy show that we do based in kind of the gamers shtick, the gamers universe.
Okay.
For those who haven't seen it, the gamers is basically the kind of core shtick to the franchise is that you have the players at the table having their, tabletop adventure conversation banter, but then we see those same players inserted into the fantasy world as their characters, trying to break the game and troll each other and doing all sorts of stuff like that. The Gamers Live, kind of takes that trope but then brings it to a live stage format. So it's highly interactive. A lot of fan suggestions get brought in. We pull fans from the audience into the show. It's chaotic. It's fun. We've been doing it at Gen Con now since 2012. We started doing it at Emerald City Comic Con in 2015, okay. I think. Yes, 2015. Did it at Modesto Con last year, Modesto Comic Con. And excited to bring it down to Mobile this year.
Nice. I think my host and I are going to have to come crash your panel.
Oh, please do.
Awesome.
Please do.
Good deal. Well, we are getting close to a commercial break. We have to satisfy those sponsors. So you mentioned one place that folks can go to find all of the work that you guys are doing. Give me all those links.
I think the most important links right now, definitely zombieorpheus.com, ZOMBIEORPHEUS. But zombieorpheus.com, you can also check us out on patreon.com/zombieorpheus, youtube.com/zombieorpheus, facebook.com/zombieorpheus. We're heavily involved in Discord now. We have a very active community on Discord that is engaged there. We're also on twitch.tv/zombieorpheus. Eventually we'll be on fantasy.network, as that's still in beta, but getting ready to launch. But pretty much, if you look up a site with a Zombie Orpheus tag, you'll probably find us.
Nice. All right, well, Chris, thank you so much for taking the time to tell us all about your projects, and we're excited to see you.
Thank you. So are we. We're excited to come down. We've always tried very hard to emphasize fan interaction and involvement, and that is really the next stage of what we're doing, where we've basically found ways to take a lot of our franchises and open things up for fan collaboration and fan fiction to become a canon part of the story. So we're really excited to see what this next couple of years look like.
Nice. When we get back, we're going to close out the show as we always do with This Week in Geek History. Stay tuned. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
It's long past time for the Big Easy to get a big comic convention. MightyCon proudly presents their very first New Orleans Comic Con, coming this June 9th and 10th at the Hilario Center in Westwego. The New Orleans Comic Con features hundreds of artists and creators, vendors, and of course, special guests. We also have free comics at the door for all attendees, free parking, and kids 12 and under get in free. Go to MightyConShows.com for more info. Don't miss New Orleans' biggest new comic book show.
Do you have a message or logo that you need the world to see? Then rely on the folks at Gretna Signworks to use their expertise to deliver your design. With over 15 years in business, Gretna Signworks can do commercial and yard signs, banners, screen-printed t-shirts, magnetic signs, vehicle graphics and lettering, and so much more. Gretna Signworks also has an exceptional network of suppliers, so no job is out of scope. Find Gretna Signworks on Facebook or visit them at 2125 Bell Chase Highway today.
Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, is now an audiobook read for you by Brian Held. It's a tale of a young girl from Tortuga who disguises herself as a boy and bluffs her way onto a pirate ship, chasing after her one true love, only to find adventure on the high seas. Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid is available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. Get your copy of Jezebel Johnston today.
Black Tie Tans, the premier mobile spray tanning professionals of New Orleans. Black Tie Tans will come to you and give you a natural glistening glow on the go. First-time customers get 20% off their first tan. Find them on Facebook at Black Tie Tans or email them at blacktitans@gmail.com to set your appointment. Going to a wedding? Going out to the club? Black Tie Tans will give you the look you need. Black Tie Tans. Tell your pale friends.
Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as My Enemy's Tears, Goth Librarian, Cyberpunk, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you.
You've waited for it, and now it's here. Get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt and help support our show. These 100% cotton black t-shirts with the Week in Geek Radio Show logo are going fast. So don't wait. Go to twigradio.com and order your shirt now. Just go to twigradio.com and get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt. $15 up to XL, $17 for 2X and 3X. That's twigradio.com.
Mata Hari, Agent H21, is a spy fiction short story anthology about the famous dancer, seductress, and spy from World War I. Mata Hari, Agent H21, published by Pro Se Productions, has 7 rip-roaring adventure tales about the world-famous super spy that features her battling her enemies by using any weapons at her disposal. Mata Hari, Agent H21 is available for purchase in ebook and paperback formats on Amazon.com.
This is Kate Mulgrew for the Week in Geek. Just kidding. It's Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, the Major from Ghost in the Shell. Listen, or the Tachicomas are going to get you.
Welcome back. This is the Week in Geek. This is D Squared.
With Brian Held.
Now, Brian, as always, we want to strongly urge people to check out the Facebook page, facebook.com/The Week in Geek. Check out our website at twigradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at Twig Radio and the Instagrams, The Week in Geek. Now, Brian, how can people listen to this lovely show?
Well, if you missed any part of tonight's show or you want to catch your favorite part again, you can find us on Spreaker.com or download Spreaker for your smartphone or tablet. We're also on iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, Google Play, the iHeartRadio app, and at WRNO.com.
Absolutely. All right, so our last guest, as you said in the interviews, that he's going to be there in Mobile for Mobicon with us.
Yes, next weekend, that's May 25th through the 27th at the Renaissance Hotel in downtown Mobile. We'll be there all weekend long, hanging out, having a great time. Come stop by and see us.
Friday night, I'm hosting the pub crawl.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to go get schnockered.
Yes, we are.
It's going to happen, and it
then
can't be worse than our 5-year anniversary party.
Oh,
we were pretty schnockered.
We were. And then, of course, there's the Cosplay After Dark that you and I are supposed to.
Yeah, Martha, Red Fox Cosplay,
Ricky?
and Rika-tivity.
Mm-hmm, yes.
Yeah.
And I think there's some other stuff that we're doing as well.
Yeah,
so.
there are, but I mean, that'll be pending how drunk we get. All right, let's get to the home stretch.
All right.
This week in Geek History.
We're sending you back to the future! Yes! Oh my God!
This week in Geek History is brought to you by Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, read by Brian Held. Available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. This week in Geek History.
Yes! Oh my gosh!
Da-na-na, da-na-na. Wow.
All right, let's see where I want to start. May 17th, 1902. A Greek archaeologist, Valerios Stasis, discovers an ancient mechanical analog computer in a shipwreck off the coast of a Greek island. It's named Antikythera, and it was the Antikythera mechanism that he discovered. It's like this ancient sort of clock mechanism deal.
What? Really?
Yeah.
So it's an advanced abacus?
Yeah. I mean,
but like clockwork, though?
It was constructed somewhere between 150 BC and 100 BC.
You know what? One word.
What?
Aliens.
Yes. Yeah, I figured as much. But the complexity is comparable to 18th century clocks, but it's the oldest known geared device ever discovered. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Aliens, man.
Yeah.
Aliens.
They've been here for a while. Speaking of aliens, on May 18th, 1979, starring Richard Hatch, Dirk Benedict, and Lauren Green, it is the Battlestar Galactica movie.
Oh, the movie?
The movie that became the pilot for the TV series.
Oh, that's right. That is right.
So, and it was released in theaters, actually.
Wow, I didn't know that. I remember the space discotheque, though.
Right.
That was such a horrible part of the movie.
Yeah.
Good times.
Let's see. May 19th, 2002. After a 202 episode run of its original series on
Babylon
Fox.
5.
No. The X-Files.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that was the first run. 202 episodes is a lot.
It is. The Smoking Man.
I know.
Did he actually get cancer from doing that show?
Probably.
Poor bastard.
All right. The last item on my list here, May 20th, 1891. Since we were talking about movies earlier, the first public demonstration of Thomas Edison's prototype kinetoscope is given, paving the way for cinematic projection.
Man, bleep Edison. Bleep him right in the bleep.
Yeah, we're Tesla guys, right?
Yeah. And then he killed an elephant.
Yeah, right.
Who does that? I'm a sick puppy, but come on. That's just wrong.
All right, you want some birthdays?
I do.
On the 14th, Uncle George Lucas.
Hey, all right.
Yes. On the 15th, Alexandra Breckenridge, and she is, I'm trying to see where you're going to know her from. She was in FX American Horror Story, A Murder House.
I never got into that show.
She was Jesse Anderson in The Walking Dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's the one I was looking for. On the 16th, Danny Trejo.
Hey,
Yeah.
that guy, didn't he? Like he was like a legit like criminal and like turned his whole life around by acting.
Kind of like
him.
Robert Downey Jr.
No, he was a celebrity who turned to a life of crime and drugs and booze.
Right.
Yeah.
On the
so
17th, Craig Ferguson, the late night talk show host.
Late night.
Yes, very late night.
Yes.
He's got some acting credits under his name. He's got 2 Daytime Emmy Awards.
Wow.
Yes.
I did not know that.
On the 19th, Peter Mayhew, that lovable Wookiee. Yes. And on the 20th, Jack Gleason, otherwise known as Joffrey Baratheon.
Joffrey, yeah, he died. Serves him right. Well, Joffrey, not the actor.
Right.
All right, Brian, we're going to Mobicon this weekend.
Yes, we're looking forward to it. So,
absolutely.
Guys, stop by and come see us, man. We're going to have a blast.
There you go. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. Till next time, keep your nerd flag raised high.
GFL.
home for Walton and Johnson. News Talk 99.5 WRNO FM, New Orleans, an iHeart radio station.